I drank this before bed at 70 and woke up with more energy than in my 40s. I know that might sound unbelievable, but if you've been struggling with low energy, restless nights, and waking up more tired than before, I invite you to stay with me. Because what I'm about to share isn't based on hype or miracle cures. It's based on one simple change that transformed the way I sleep and live. For years, I accepted poor sleep as part of aging, tossing and turning at night, waking up groggy, depending on coffee just to feel awake. I thought it was normal. But deep down, I knew something wasn't right. Until one evening, I tried a warm bedtime drink. No pills, no side effects, just a blend of natural ingredients, and everything began to shift. In this video, I'll walk you through exactly what I used, why it works for seniors, and how you can safely make it part of your nightly routine. And if better sleep and real morning energy matter to you, this might be the most valuable few minutes you spend today. Let's begin. Your rest deserves it. Part 1. The problem. I used to believe that feeling tired every morning was just part of getting older. I brushed it off like gray hair or stiff knees. It's normal, I told myself. Everyone my age goes through this. But over time, that quiet exhaustion started to take over more than just my mornings. It affected everything. My mood, my energy, even how I interacted with the people I love. At first, the signs were subtle. I would lie in bed longer, hoping to drift off, but instead my mind would keep racing. I would wake up at 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. for no clear reason and just stare at the ceiling. Some nights, I'd fall back asleep. Other nights, I wouldn't. And in the morning, I felt like I had barely rested at all. Now let me ask you, does that sound familiar? It's easy to dismiss a bad night or two, but when it becomes the norm, when you wake up more tired than you were before bed, that's not just aging. That's your body asking for help, and I ignored it for far too long. For years I tried to power through it. I told myself it was nothing. I drank more coffee, I stayed busy, I took short naps during the day. But the truth is, I was becoming someone else. Slower, more irritable, less present. I couldn't focus the way I used to. Conversations felt harder to follow. My memory seemed clouded. It was like a mental fog had rolled in and refused to leave. And the most frustrating part, nobody could see it from the outside. I looked fine. I smiled, I did what I had to do, but inside, I was running on empty. I was just tired. Not just physically, but emotionally. Tired of pretending I was fine. Tired of hoping tonight would be better and waking up disappointed again. So I started trying things. Maybe you've tried them too. Chamomile tea, soft music, breathing exercises, a new mattress, meditation apps. I even forced myself to stay off my phone at night, as the articles said. Some of those helped for a little while. But the problem always came back. And when nothing else worked, I turned to sleeping pills. At first, they helped. I fell asleep faster. But the next morning, I felt groggy, disconnected. It was like I had slept through the night but hadn't really rested. And after a few weeks, I found myself depending on them just to get by. Let me pause here and ask you something personal. Have you ever felt trapped in that cycle? Desperate to sleep, willing to try anything, only to end up more frustrated the next day? If so, I want you to know, you're not alone. In fact, millions of older adults struggle with sleep every single night. But most of us never talk about it. We suffer in silence. And we convince ourselves this is just how it is. But it doesn't have to be. You see, the problem wasn't just in the bedroom. It wasn't just about tossing and turning. The issue ran deeper. In my habits, in my food, even in how I ended each day. Sleep isn't something that just happens when we close our eyes. Especially as we age, the body needs the right signals, the right rhythm to enter deep, healing rest. But I was doing the opposite. I'd eat dinner too late, often something heavy like bread, cheese, or reheated stew. I'd leave the lights on too bright. I'd scroll on my phone, watch the news, or get caught in thoughts I couldn't control. My body was tired, but my mind was on high alert. I was creating the perfect storm for insomnia without even realizing it. And let me tell you, when you do this night after night, year after year, your body forgets how to rest. And that was the hardest part for me to admit. It wasn't just poor sleep, it was the slow unraveling of my quality of life. I started avoiding morning walks. I skipped time with friends. I turned down hobbies I used to love, like painting and gardening. Not because I didn't care, but because I didn't have the energy. And that's when it hit me. This wasn't just about sleep anymore. This was about my life. At that point, I had two choices: keep accepting exhaustion as my new normal, or start asking different questions. What if sleep isn't lost with age, but stolen by small habits we don't even notice? What if the way we end our day, what we eat, what we think, how we breathe, matters more than we think? What if, instead of adding more pills, we could subtract the things that harm our sleep in the first place? That's when I began to look deeper. Not for another quick fix, but for the root of the problem. And the answer started in the most unexpected place, with one small change to my evening routine. One simple thing I added before bed that helped my body remember how to rest. But I'm getting ahead of myself. In the next part, I'll show you exactly what that change was and why it worked when nothing else did. It's not complicated, it's not expensive, and it might just be the missing piece in your nightly routine too. But before we move on, let me ask, when was the last time you woke up and truly felt refreshed? Not just I slept, but I'm ready to live today. If it's been a while, stay with me. This story might be yours too. Part 2, the discovery. After months, even years of chasing better sleep, I was tired of chasing. I had tried everything that seemed reasonable, and a few things that weren't. Expensive pillows, sleep apps, herbal teas with names I couldn't pronounce. And still, I was waking up more tired than when I went to bed. One morning, I looked at myself in the mirror and barely recognized the man staring back. The spark in my eyes was dim. My shoulders slumped. I didn't feel like me anymore. And that's when something shifted. Not all at once. Not in some big, dramatic moment. Just quietly. I was reading a small article online. It wasn't even from a medical journal. Just a blog. A woman around my age had shared something that helped her sleep naturally. I nearly clicked away. I'd seen too many so-called miracle cures. But something about her story made me stop. She said, "I stopped fighting sleep and started preparing for it." That sentence stayed with me. What if I had been doing it all backward? I started looking at my nights differently. Not as a final task of the day, but as the beginning of something healing. Instead of asking, how can I fall asleep faster? I began asking, what signals am I giving my body to rest? And that's when I remembered something simple. Something warm. Something that had always made me feel safe. A cup of warm milk before bed. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Warm milk? That's old advice. But hear me out. I didn't just heat milk. I added 2 powerful, natural ingredients, turmeric and honey. Not because it was trendy, but because they each serve a beautiful purpose when it comes to sleep. Turmeric, that golden spice often used in stews and curries, is a natural anti-inflammatory. But beyond that, it helps reduce oxidative stress in the brain. One of the hidden reasons many older adults struggle to wind down. Honey, especially raw or natural honey, helps trigger the release of serotonin, the feel-good chemical that eventually helps your body produce melatonin, the hormone responsible for sleep. And of course, milk itself contains tryptophan, a building block of serotonin and melatonin. It wasn't magic. It was nature, supporting the body's own wisdom. So one night, I gave it a try. No expectations, no pressure. I simply warmed a cup of milk. Not boiling, just enough to feel cozy. I stirred in half a teaspoon of turmeric, added 1 teaspoon of raw honey, and sat down with it. No TV, no phone, just the soft light of the kitchen and the sound of my breath. I drank slowly, like it was something sacred. And then I went to bed. That night, something unexpected happened. I didn't fall asleep instantly, but I didn't fight it either. My mind was quieter, my body felt lighter, and at some point, I drifted off. The next thing I remember was sunlight peeking through the curtains. For the first time in months, maybe years, I had slept through the night. Now I want to pause here and ask you, when was the last time you woke up and thought, that was a good night's sleep? Not perfect, just peaceful. If it's been a while, this might be worth trying. In the days that followed, I kept the same routine. Warm, calming drink, soft light, no screens, no rushing. My sleep wasn't perfect every night, but the difference was clear. I felt calmer before bed. I felt stronger in the morning. I began to wake up with energy, not the kind you get from coffee or adrenaline, but real, grounded, morning energy. And that energy changed everything. I started walking again. I smiled more. I reconnected with small joys, like painting, reading, even just sitting quietly without the pressure to do. My wife noticed, my neighbors noticed. But more importantly, I noticed. I felt like I had returned to myself, all from one small change. Now, I'm not here to promise miracles. Everyone's body is different, and what worked for me may work differently for you. But if you're tired of being tired, and you're open to something simple and natural, I believe this could be the beginning of something healing. You don't need fancy tools or expensive supplements. You just need the intention to care for your body gently, especially at night. And this one habit, this warm bedtime drink, could be your first step back to rest. Before we move on, I want to ask you this. Would you be willing to trade 5 minutes each night for the chance at deeper, more peaceful sleep? If so, keep watching. Because in the next part, I'll break down exactly why this drink works, the science behind it, and how you can safely prepare it at home, even if you don't like milk or you're lactose intolerant. And if you're finding this story helpful, please take a moment to let me know in the comments. Tell me your age, where you're listening from, and if you've ever tried a natural bedtime drink before. I'd truly love to hear from you, because your journey matters. And sleep, real, healing sleep, isn't just a luxury. It's your right. Part 3. Why it works. By now you might be wondering, why did this simple drink help me sleep better than anything else I had tried? That's a good question, because I asked it too. I didn't want to rely on luck or coincidence. I wanted to understand why it worked, especially at my age. So I began to study sleep. Not just from books, but from conversations with doctors, health specialists, and even people like you, seniors trying to find answers. And what I discovered changed how I see nighttime entirely. You see, sleep is not just about closing your eyes. It's about giving your body the right signals at the right time to do what it's already built to do. Rest, repair, and restore. As we get older, those signals become harder to send and easier to block. Let me explain what I mean. There are 3 main things that affect sleep in people over 60. Melatonin, cortisol, and body temperature. You've probably heard of at least one of them. But when these 3 get out of balance, even slightly, it can make falling asleep and staying asleep incredibly difficult. Let's start with melatonin. Melatonin is the hormone that tells your body, hey, it's time to sleep. It naturally rises in the evening and helps regulate your sleep-wake cycle. But here's the catch. After age 60, our bodies make less melatonin than before. And when that signal weakens, it takes longer to fall asleep. Sometimes it doesn't come at all. Now think about cortisol. That's the stress hormone. It's supposed to be low at night and high in the morning to help you wake up. But if your body is under stress, even quiet, long-term stress like worry, loneliness, or irregular routines, cortisol stays high at night. That keeps your brain alert, even when your eyes are closed. It's like trying to sleep with the lights on inside your head. And finally, body temperature. Most people don't realize how important this is. Your body needs to cool down slightly before you can enter deep, restful sleep. That's why warm bedrooms, heavy dinners, or late-night activity can sabotage your rest without you even knowing it. So, what does this have to do with the drink? Everything. That 1 cup of warm milk, turmeric, and honey helped support each of these areas naturally and gently. Milk contains tryptophan, a natural amino acid that helps produce serotonin, which then becomes melatonin. It's like sending your body a bedtime invitation. Honey, in small amounts, helps trigger the release of serotonin as well. It also prevents blood sugar drops during the night, which is one reason some people wake up at 2 or 3 a.m. without realizing why. And turmeric? It reduces inflammation and oxidative stress in the brain, calming down your nervous system. When your mind isn't inflamed or agitated, it becomes easier to let go and rest. But here's what I found most interesting. It wasn't just what was in the drink. It was when and how I drank it. I didn't just gulp it down before bed. I made it part of a ritual, a moment of stillness, a time when I told my body, the day is done, now we rest. That made all the difference. So let me ask you, how do you end your day? Do you rush through dinner, scroll on your phone, then collapse into bed with your mind still racing? Or do you give your body a chance to shift gears? Because here's the truth I wish I had known sooner. Sleep doesn't start in bed. It starts before that. What you eat, what you feel, what you think, It all builds the path toward rest. If you've been trying to sleep better but ignoring these signals, it's no wonder rest feels so far away. Now, I'm not saying this one drink is a miracle. It's not. But it became a symbol for me. A gentle reminder that my body still knows how to heal if I stop interrupting it. And maybe that's where you begin too. Tonight, instead of hoping for sleep, try preparing for it. Light a warm lamp. Put away your phone. Make something gentle and calming. Sit with it. Sip slowly. Breathe. Let your body know it's safe to rest again. And if this idea speaks to you, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Have you ever tried something similar? What helps you sleep better at night? Let's support each other, because we're all learning and healing together. In the next part, I'll walk you through exactly how I prepare my nighttime routine, from what I eat for dinner to how I calm my mind before sleep, step by step. It's simple, calming, and completely doable at any age. So don't miss it. Your rest matters more than you think. Part 4, a new routine. Once I understood why I couldn't sleep, I realized the solution wasn't about doing more. It was about doing things differently. I didn't need more supplements. I didn't need another gadget on my nightstand. What I needed was a better rhythm, a kinder way to end the day. So I began building a new routine. One that respected my age, my body, and the simple truth that healing starts with consistency. Let me walk you through it. Maybe parts of it will feel familiar, maybe some will feel new. But I encourage you to listen closely and ask yourself, could this work for me too? It starts with dinner. I eat earlier now. Most nights I finish dinner by 6:30 or 7 p.m. I keep it light: soup, steamed vegetables, a boiled egg, sometimes a small piece of grilled fish. I avoid anything too fatty, salty, or sweet. No cheese, no bread, no fried food. Why? Because I've learned the hard way. If your body is digesting all night, it can't focus on resting. After dinner, I stay off my phone. No news, no emails, no scrolling through videos. That used to be my habit, trying to wind down with noise, but now I know better. The bright blue light from screens tells your brain it's still daytime. And if your brain thinks it's daytime, it won't release melatonin. No melatonin, no deep sleep. So around 8 p.m., I begin my wind-down time. I make my warm drink, milk, turmeric, and honey. I prepare it slowly, like a ritual. I sit at the kitchen table without distractions. No TV, no bright lights, just me, the warmth of the cup, and a few quiet thoughts. Sometimes I'll put on soft instrumental music. Sometimes I just breathe. After I finish my drink, I dim the lights in the house. Not off completely, just low enough to tell my body we're closing the day now. I might read a few pages from a book or write in a small notebook. If something's bothering me, I don't take it to bed. I write it down. Just a line or two. Enough to say I see this, but I'll deal with it tomorrow. That small gesture has brought me more peace than I can explain. Before I get into bed, I stretch gently, nothing complicated. A few shoulder rolls, arms above my head, deep breaths. I'm not exercising, I'm releasing the tension from the day. I let my body know, you're safe now. You can let go. And if for whatever reason sleep doesn't come right away, I don't panic anymore. I lie still. I focus on my breath. I tell myself, rest is still rest. My body knows what to do. That shift in mindset has been powerful, because sometimes fighting sleep is what keeps it away. Now, I want to ask you something. Do you have a routine at night, or do you just collapse into bed and hope for the best? Because what I've learned is this: your night doesn't begin when you turn off the light. It begins with your last meal, your last thought, your last breath before you close your eyes. And when you repeat those gentle steps, night after night, your body starts to remember. Your sleep deepens. Your mornings change. You start to wake up with more clarity, more calm, and yes, more energy than you thought possible at your age. This isn't about perfection. It's about consistency. Small choices repeated with care. If this speaks to you, I'd love to know. What's one thing you already do to prepare for bed? And what's one new habit you might try after watching this video? Share it in the comments. I read everyone, because you deserve to rest. Not just at night, but in how you treat yourself each day. In the final part of this video, I'll share the biggest lessons I've learned from this journey, and the powerful reminder I wish someone had told me sooner. So stay with me. You've come this far. Let's finish strong. Together. If you've made it this far, I want to thank you. Not just for watching, but for caring enough to take a step toward your own well-being. Sleep is not just about getting through the night. It's about how you feel the next morning. It's about memory, mood, mobility, and even longevity. And what I've shared in this video isn't a miracle. It's a method, a natural, science-backed way to support your body with kindness and intention. As a health educator for older adults, I've seen firsthand how one small habit, like a calming drink before bed, can become the beginning of lasting change. It's never too late to rewrite your relationship with sleep. And it doesn't start in the pharmacy. It starts in your kitchen, in your mindset, in your nightly rhythm. If this video helped you, I encourage you to explore the links in the description below. I've added other helpful videos there on managing nighttime cramps, calming the nervous system, and preparing simple anti-inflammatory meals. Each one is designed to support your energy, clarity, and peace as you age. Now I'd love to hear from you. What health topic would you like me to dive deeper into next? Memory? Joint pain? Natural ways to reduce anxiety? Leave a comment below and let me know. Your input truly shapes this channel. And if you found value here, don't forget to like, subscribe, and tap the bell. Not for me, but for you. Because this isn't just another health channel, it's a community. And you belong here. Take care. Sleep deeply, and I'll see you in the next video.